Howdy, folks. Sorry I woke up a little late this morning, stayed up a little late, and got a late start, but here I am. Thank you for joining me, Brother Jim Beckwith, reporting here at End Times Prophecy News. How are you today? I hope all is well with you and your family. I pray the Lord bless you and keep you safe until the day of that rapture where we are caught up to meet the Lord in the air. So shall we ever be with him. Media is silent. Clinton Foundation connected AGT forwarded top secret U.S. intel to Russia. FBI/DOJ covered it up. Part 5. Is this the final part? I don't know. A 2016 DOJ criminal investigation was suppressed and buried by the DOJ FBI that involved a major New York Democratic power broker and the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation. The investigation revolved around the illegal sale of controlled U.S. Homeland Security technology to Russia and China in the years before the 2016 election by a company named AGT. Now, this will be rehashing or getting you up to speed on the first 4 parts at first. A quick brief over that. AGT and all the illegal things they did, selling our secrets to other nations. The DOJ terminated its internal investigation in 2016 despite clear and irrefutable evidence of criminal activity and hid it from the public. In part 1 of our series, we discussed the Clinton Foundation and the donations to the foundation from the COB and CEO of AGT International, as well as from the sheiks in the UAE. These donations in the millions of dollars were for favors from the Clintons. In return, the Clintons helped promote AGT. In part 2 of our series, we discussed the illegal actions that AGT International took to generate revenues around the globe. Highly sensitive U.S. defense technology and ITAR classified products were provided to China, selling our secrets, Slick Willie, to China and Russia and other countries in the name of sales growth. These actions were beyond criminal. They were treasonous. Very true. And I've known about this for about 6 years. In part 3 of our series, we discussed the investigation that the FBI/DOJ started into AGT and the Clinton Foundation, but then terminated and covered up before the 2016 presidential election despite irrefutable crimes. That's because the deep state inside the FBI and DOJ are one and the same with the deep state that's working with the Clinton cabal and through AGT. In part 4 of our series, we discussed the activities by individuals associated with AGT in obtaining entrance to a highly sensitive U.S. intel facility, circumventing the controls in place that prevent illegal entries to the facility. Today, we discussed the efforts by AGT to obtain top secret U.S. intel for the sole purpose of selling to the Russians. The biggest proof here now. As noted in our prior post, 4D Security Solutions, an AGT company, was a major defense contractor for entities like the U.S. Navy, the Philadelphia Police Department, and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. And here's all the proof as you see here. At least one of AGT's companies, 4D Security Solutions, provided its products to a facility that was regulated by the U.S. government and required screening and a U.S. passport in order to enter it. Again, more proof of that statement. As noted in our prior post in 2014, while AGT was actively selling its real-time crime center, RTCC, products worldwide, 3 of its executives, Jason Stark, Jeffrey Baird, and Zvi Moskowitz, visited the DVIC in Philadelphia in order to collect intelligence and operation information about the secure site. This visit was arranged and scheduled via back channels, as we see here. Per the details of their meeting invite, these AGT top executives were to call an individual by the name of Justin Frank as soon as they approached the DVIC facility. Frank is a detective at the Philadelphia Police Department, and he also works for a company called Intuidex. The DVIC that these individuals wanted to visit is a secure location that permits only U.S. citizens with special permits to enter. The DVIC tracks and maintains information that is top secret, including intercepts and files on terrorism, gangs, etc. The startling observation of the visit to the DBIC by the group from AGT is that this group appeared to circumvent the procedures in place to prevent illegal entry to the site. This is evident from the visit scheduling details. The parties involved utilized private email communications to work out the details and curtailed official vetting, approval, and background checks, which apparently were never conducted. Baird and reportedly Moshkovitz were not U.S. citizens. For them to enter the DVIC facility, an enormous amount of checks and verifications were to take place, but there is no evidence that these activities took place. As noted previously from the information collected and subsequent discussions with AGT International Management, it is clear that the purpose of these visits was to extract high-value intelligence and operational data and then use it for financial gain and sell it for exchange it abroad. These actions were in the least suspect but probably criminal. AGT International collected this information from various U.S.-based defense law enforcement, intelligence, and security sources on a regular basis, as can be seen from the international communication by senior AGT executives. This was not a one-off. No, it was ongoing over and over. The next image shows more internal communications regarding the need for RTCC information. It has all of the AGT leaders and other of the company's seniors leadership team on the distribution lists. The next image shows a meeting to discuss the RTCC project in one of the former Soviet Union countries, Kazakhstan, with pricing information at $1.5 million. In the email, C stands for Israel. The next four images contain detailed discussions about what was going on to be given to the Russians when they come over for a physical visit. In these emails, MM stands for Mastermind, which is an Intel platform. Also note that the Lenz Gotti is using the 4D security email in these exchanges. He is a U.S. employee working for a U.S. regulated defense company with secret clearance. They provide services, software, hardware, etc. to the feds, and he is leading the effort to do the exchange with the Russians. This preparation for the face-to-face meetings with the Russians shows that the Russians want to see basically everything, not just Mastermind. And there's all the proof to that. Lots of it, huh? All this is damning evidence in a court of law. In the last part of the email above, there is an exchange that shows an individual in Russia forwarding instructions to individuals at AGT, including its CEO, Matti Kokavi, that indicate that after the NDA is signed, we may start to exchange the information. What information is this email above referring to? It's suspected that the information is highly sensitive U.S. defense intel obtained on U.S. facilities serviced by AGT. Below is a slide from a presentation to the Russians. Who colluded with the Russians? It wasn't for just a mere election. How about all of our military secrets plus 20% of our uranium? The next image shows the New York Police Department Real-Time Crime Center data input screen. And below is the new NYPD RTCC data flow view. Urban Shield is another RTCC type system that was provided by AGT. The next slide shows the cybersecurity features of the Wisdom related products. The slide shows that the system features include real-time views with a zero database. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you. These are terms computer geeks would commonly use to define time frames related to hacking. Also, this slide describes Metasploit frameworks which use the penetration testing software Metasploit. And if you need to see any of these pictures, just find where I'm looked and then pause the video and look at it. What we are talking about here is a cyber attack system using the Metasploit framework, which has the ability to execute remote attacks like the alleged DNC HRC type hacks. Basically, AGT is offering the Russians a state-of-the-art cyber attack system with the latest technology. No, it was Trump who did it. Right. All the proof. Cybersecurity features, end-to-end target network mapping tools, end-to-end target network monitoring tools, insertion and packaging tools, operational dashboards, real-time views of countermeasures, real-time view of vulnerabilities, change management and patching state, zero data database, derivation, I think, from normal process behavior, and full integration with Metasploit frameworks. Under defensive, intrusion detection prevention capabilities, threat detection, and post-incident analysis. This final slide shows more of AGT's wisdom and mastermind features. Note that CI operations and planning is really counter-intel capabilities. In other words, AGT is offering the Russians the ability to conduct counter-intel operations, e.g. cell phone intercepts, object and vehicle tracking, etc. Also, OSINT integration allows the Russians to tie into the internet into these operations. All of this information provided to the Russians was super classified and never should have been placed in their hands. The AGT family of companies participated in numerous suspect, if not criminal, activities. The leaders of the company were Clinton friends and major donors to the Clinton Foundation. The Clintons, in turn, helped promote AGT. AGT then participated in numerous shady and criminal activities, the worst of which were selling U.S. ITAR regulated products and information to the Russians and Chinese. The DOJ, FBI started an investigation of AGT, but then covered it up. The investigation into the Clinton Foundation and the AGT was material to the 2016 U.S. election, and yet the FBI and DOJ concealed it from the American public. Why? Because that deep state of the FBI and DOJ is also working in the AGT and the Clinton cabal, selling to the Russians and Chinese. The Clinton Foundation and the DOJ and FBI must be investigated, and the crimes committed by these entities must be brought to justice. The DOJ and the FBI need to be drained of their swamp. Christopher Wray is no good either. You know, I'm going to tell you what's is happening in our very near future. Cyrus is only resisting the New World Order beast system and the revealing of the Antichrist. Why? Because the Bible teaches that. The rapture comes at the last trump. That is a time stamp. Well, God actually named that Trump Donald Trump. He made it real simple for you. He is resisting the beast system and the revealing of the Antichrist, with God going before him, as Isaiah 45:1 says. He is God's servant. He is a Babylonian king. Stop trying to make him an evil person just because he's a Babylonian king, God working through him. That's what Babylonian kings were. They were evil. But Donald Trump is not really evil, is he? No. Is he righteous? Well, no man is righteous. No, not one. Romans chapter 3, verse 10 through 12. Stop trying to judge Donald Trump for what he did in the past. You need to understand that he is resisting the beast system, and it's coming inevitably. He's only holding it back. You understand? Thank you for listening.
Hello there, my friends. Are you tired of trying to lose weight with diets of fruits and vegetables that leave you hungry with no energy and hardly no results? Wouldn't it be nice to know you can indulge in the foods you love and know that is what God created your body to eat in the first place? Well, I have the answer for you. The Shepherd's Diet. Folks, this is not what you think. This is the diet approved by yours truly, God Almighty. Yes, it is written in the King James Version Bible, and you must believe that God created you to be a fat-burning machine. Yes, folks, the global elites have lied to you for over 70 years, making you believe that to eat fat is to be fat, when actually it is completely the opposite. Yes, I have personal friends in the threads right now who can witness how they have had a huge weight loss while eating more calories. Tested and proven. This is a mind-blowing information that needs to be shared to everyone. So here's the diet in a nutshell. Eat as much good fats that you can to start your fat-burning machine that God created in you. Back off the sugars and carbs, and that's basically it. Yes, the 4 books included in your offer will give you the full biblical understanding of how God told you to eat fat in your diet through scriptures. And the best part is, you can support this channel and ministry while you make your life much more abundant, more pleasant to look at in the mirror, while giving a black eye to the global elites as you share the same information with anyone you come in contact with. Pick up your Shepherd's Diet 4-book combo today. Link is down below.